inside Arthur Ashe Stadium. Let's just quickly deal with that, Jim. You mentioned it during the warm-up for anyone who wasn't with us. The challenges of playing on this court at this time of the day with the ball coming in and out of the sunshine.
It just impacts the vision and your ability to react as quickly for the players. Just in that point alone, 122-mile-an-hour first serve from Svajda jammed Djokovic, and he looked to be caught off guard. And that I would attribute to him having to track the ball from the shadow and then into the sun. It's not easy, and it's also not something that many tennis courts have. It's not like you practice this environment very often. Djokovic wearing a ball cap. I don't know if he'll wear it when he's on the other side. Might not. But I think it's fair to say that if he's playing at 11:30 a.m., the new start time this year on Arthur Ashe Stadium, that he asked for it. Because Djokovic at this stage of his career gets rightfully what he asks for as far as start times go. He'll play an Australian Open and never play a day match if he wants. And he could have said, I want to play the second match when the shadow is not this style of a shadow.
Wrong with that forehand, and for Svajda playing in the shadows, is that a challenge as well when the ball's coming out of the sunshine?
It's exactly the same challenge, just the ball changing conditions. It's harder to pick up once it crosses the barrier, and Djokovic looking for a break early here.
Beautifully illustrated by that replay. Suddenly the ball almost disappears, doesn't it, once it goes into the shadows. First one saved.
40-14.
Beat Lerner Tien in his opening match, so he's working his way through the Californians this week.
That was on Sunday as well.
Yeah.
Djokovic opting to play on the first day to give himself 2 days off afterwards. Again, that would be something that he would have requested, or if asked, would have said, yes, I will. Could have played Monday if he wanted to.
Both break points saved.
Yes.
Let's save a set point in the second set against Lerner Tien, and as Jim was saying, had a few complications in that second set. Admitted in press afterwards that he was slightly surprised by how uncomfortable he was feeling physically in the second set, and also had the blister problem, but didn't seem too stressed about that. First tournament since Wimbledon for Djokovic.
Advantage, Svajda.
This will be a nice settler if he can emerge unscathed from this opening service game. And he does indeed. And that's a useful hold. It just helps settle the heart rate.
Glorious head of hair that he has.
Thank you, ma'am. 15.
38 years of age, of course, now. World number 7. Although he tells us he's not too fussed about where the world ranking is these days. It's just about trying to manage the calendar and the schedule and fit that around his other commitments and parts of his life that are important to him, which, of course, is his family, and that's at the top of that list. So we're not going to see as much of Novak as we have been used to seeing over recent years. Playing fewer of the smaller tournaments on the ATP Tour, the 500s and the Masters 1000s to a degree as well. Didn't play either Toronto or Cincy this summer. Nicely done.
Fortilla.
Nice speed on Zach Svajda's side of the net. He's quick. He's not tall, but he can motor around the court. Good evidence there. Djokovic still with the answer, though.
Ball.
Djokovic.
It's pretty clean in this opening service game.
One game all.
Team Novak also in the house. He's at a full house normally in his player's box. Not quite all the way there at this point. We spoke about the blister that Novak is dealing with on his big toe. At Roland Garros, he also had a pretty gnarly blister on his foot. There's Team Svajda. They got a full house. What a moment for him. Get a chance to play here against the GOAT. Djokovic played Corentin Moutet at Roland Garros and was treated in match for the blister and came to press about an hour later, and he said it took him a while to deal with the bleeding that the blister had, and they had to use injections to draw the blood out and then inject something into the area to dry it out. So he's used to dealing with it. Made the semifinals there. He's made the semifinals of all 3 majors this season, even playing relatively sparingly. Don't anticipate it's going to trouble him too much. You?
I didn't get that feeling from watching his press conference after the first round win. I was quite surprised by how much and how openly he talked about feeling rough physically in the second set. But when he was asked about the blister, he was like, "Ah, it's just a blister. It's fine." He's had a few of those over the years.
Yeah, that's Ray Sarmiento, who's come on board, got to 287 in the world. Coaching Svajda, he's going okay so far on serve.
Yeah, he is settling into this environment.
2 games to 1. First set.
He's practiced with Djokovic, incidentally, in the past, and Federer as well. That was at Indian Wells a few years ago. Get a taste of top-level tennis and what it was like to hang out with those kind of guys.
Good long rally there. Djokovic finally has his way with him. Practicing is certainly fantastic to get a chance to be on the court with Novak or Roger. Playing them in match is quite different. This is the highest ranked player that Zach's ever played. Novak is world number 7 currently. He's also played Taylor Fritz, who beat him in Washington, D.C. a couple of years ago. And he played Jannik Sinner here in 2021 when he was a wild card, had won the National Junior Championships. Svajda, they played in the second round, and Sinner beat him in 4 sets. Sinner was 13 in the world as a seed that time, ranked 16th. He's improved a little bit.
Did well to get back on his feet. Don't think there's any damage done.
30 love.
Oh, just lost his footing there. Not able to land that one, but Zach Svajda's natural game, a persistent game, a game. Oh, that must have felt a little uncomfortable. Good thing we were built with padding there. But what I was saying is, if you watched Novak's match against Lerner Tien and you were on Team Svajda, you might smile a little bit and say, oh, Novak said afterwards that he wasn't feeling great. He was worried about his fitness. Well, that's the type of tennis that Svajda is going to play no matter what. Long points if he can. Try and stretch things out and make it physical, because he can't overpower players on tour. He just doesn't have the strength of shot. 15 minutes of play for 4 games.
Yeah, it's been fairly lengthy so far. 2 apiece, first sets, first match of the day. Inside Ash, a quick reminder to download the US Open app to follow your favorite players. Got all the live scores on there and the stats and the schedules and draws. You can watch match highlights, get player news and watch live 3D views of all singles matches. That's available on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Yeah, I suppose one of the positives for Svajda, at least, you know, you're playing a guy who might just give you a bit of rhythm the first few games. It's not, you know, a huge server who's going to blow you off court. Seems like that's been the feel of the opening exchanges. If you can stay with former world number 1, of course.
A little bit of an odd play from Djokovic to try and sneak in off of not an obvious approach shot. And you can hear some instructions coming from his team. And oftentimes the instructions that they have for him are more technically focused really than tactical.
Oh. 40-50.
Challengers in Newport on the grass. That's a challenger tour event this year. Used to be a 250 just after Wimbledon. Beat Aryna in the final. He's a very, very good grass court player still. French lefty. It's a nice finish. Bernie Tomic in the Lexington final. Just a couple is starting to settle into this.
Ball.
love 15.
Novak certainly not firing on all cylinders so far. This early start for the serve by his standards. Just take a few more extra minutes to get him working through the gears.
Looking
a bit more comfortable in the Djokovic box. It's a big day for the Svajda family today because they've been going through some tough times the last year or so. That's been part of the Svajda narrative, the story away from the match court the last 12 months or so. Has a brother who plays college tennis, has been a good junior himself. Finals of nationals in the past. That's younger brother Trevor. It's a beautiful backhand.
15-13.
And Zach's father Tom has been struggling with cancer for the last year or so. That's been one of the off-court battles that everybody involved in the Svajda family has been fighting. Naturally, that's made it very difficult to concentrate on winning tennis matches the last year or so. So the Californian tennis community has been rallying around Tom, who's been a big part of that community, has been a teaching pro for over 2 decades. Back over on the West Coast, watches every one of Zach's matches, and so through the struggles that he's going through at the moment, I'm sure there'll be a smile on his face today watching his son step out into the biggest tennis stadium in the world to take on Djokovic. And here we go. He might be smiling a little bit more right now because he's got 2 chances to break here. First serve not firing yet for Djokovic.
In between first and second serves there, Novak took a long look at his team, led by Dusan Vimic and Boris Wozniakovic these days. He's an intense person to be on the team with from all accounts. He escapes that challenge for the moment. Back to deuce, the same way that Zach Svajda escaped the 15-40 in the opening game, eventually holding. We'll see if Novak can achieve that. Not there yet, but first serve percentage, as you mentioned, is not ideal. It's under 50% for the Serb. That should climb as he settles in. The sun, certainly not a problem when he's serving this side.
Just deep.
Advantage, Djokovic.
Putting in some mileage, these two. He's opening 25 minutes. It's not boiling hot, but it's still warm if you're out there playing long rallies. Certainly an interesting element of this match to see how, if Novak looks better than he did during his opening match against Lona Tien.
Tien was nervous. It's understandable, playing under the lights against Novak on night one. And the opening set went rather quickly before Tien settled in and challenged the champ in set two. Svajda, by holding that opening service game, seemed to have gotten his feet grounded a little quicker than Lerner was able to. The challenge is here in the opening set already. I think it does help also to have had
Djokovic.
not just the win in the opening round, but the 3 matches behind it in the qualifying. So he's truly settled into these conditions, Zach Svajda. Comfortable, confident, in rhythm. Certainly outclassed on the court against Novak. Very few are not. But going toe-to-toe with him so far.
Game Djokovic.
Eventually holds, having saved the 2 break points. He had 4 wins, as we mentioned. Svajda was
3 games
the
all.
22nd seed in
First set.
qualifying. It's 128 draws, so you need to win 3 matches. Beat August Holmgren from Denmark, 6-2, 7-6. Beat Zukayev from Kazakhstan, 3 and 5. And a good win in the 3rd round. Watched a bit of Marc-Andrea Huesler in the previous match. He looked very good. He's got a big game, Huesler. Took care of him 3 and 2 to qualify. And then
Ladies and gentlemen, behind the players, take your
Zsombor
seats
Piros.
quickly, please. Thank you.
who beat in the first round 6-4,
Behind the players.
6-2,
Thank you.
7-5. Add those wins to all the match wins he's
Thank
had
you,
during the
ladies and
summer,
gentlemen.
the 2
Players are ready. Thank
challenger
you.
victories. He qualified in Washington as well. That's an ATP 500. Beat Kecmanovic in the first round. In 3 sets, it's a very good win. Pushed Lehechka to 3 in the round of 32 in DC as well. Add to that a run to the semis at Ilkley, that's on grass in England. Something seems to have clicked in good time since he hooked up with Ray Sarmiento. And I suppose, Jim, as well, you know, I mentioned briefly the emotional battles he's having away from the court. You know, seeing his father go through such tough times. Discovered that a year ago. I know, first of all, he you know, he wasn't even really sure whether he should have been playing the sport, should be back home supporting my dad, who's been there for him for so many years. I suppose after a year, I can't imagine for a second what it must be like to be going through that, but maybe it becomes a bit more part of daily life and you can focus a bit more on your tennis and you get back to a better place, and maybe that's been a reason the results have been better.
I think that's a reasonable assumption, Lee.
First set.
The ranking did drop, but it's really kicked on in recent weeks.
Sure has. He's hired a new strength and conditioning coach as well as Ray to his team, Rodney Marshall, and they've been putting in the hard yards as well, trying to make him a little bit stronger, add a little bit more strength, which is necessary. He's quick naturally, but if you have stronger legs, you can hit the brakes and change directions better, and you need that. All right, now it's full speed ahead. The first set of tennis balls will be dispatched, and no one serve is.
Looks more like it. Sort of clean striking and point construction.
Third.
It's one of the interesting elements of watching Novak Djokovic at this stage of his career, just to get a sense, first few games, of where he's at. We were used for so long, weren't we, of watching a supreme level of tennis athlete in his prime. Obviously that's it's not going to be the case when you're 38 years of age and he's playing far fewer matches than he used to. Some tough results earlier in the season that we were surprised by.
But also some pretty great ones. Beating Alcaraz while injured in the Australian Open quarterfinals was impressive, and a reminder that greatness is still available to Novak. Good run onto the ball there. So stays in this game, does Svajda, but for Djokovic, staying healthy has been one of his biggest challenges. His durability is very much in question, and it gets questioned the most in these best-of-5 set events, but he's been injured at all the majors this year, one way or another. And that was a nasty slip and fall at Wimbledon this year that really put paid to his chances against Sinner, and he just couldn't move the way he wanted to. And can he stay healthy enough to make a deep run here and be fit enough to make a big challenge is very much in question. And he's the one who's been asking that question. If you read his press transcripts, he's uncertain because it's been so difficult for him, but no problem holding serve with the new balls.
First set.
Quick towel down before he gets stuck into game 9 in this first set. It's perhaps a little bit tighter than many expected. World number 7 against the world number 145. Of course, this is when it really matters. See these matches between players outside the top 100 and someone like Djokovic, who is so used to being able to find just that little bit extra when he needs it. These kind of sets just to pull away from opponents.
15.
That's very helpful. That is 4 aces for Zach Svajda. Novak has 1 so far, but Svajda is serving magnificently so far, making a little over 70% first serves in play. For a guy who's underpowered on serve, he's undersized in general for the tour. He's getting a lot of bang for his buck today so far.
Did he make it? I think Novak's asking the same question. I guess he did, because there was no call. In the end, it didn't matter.
15.
Novak stopped playing after he hit this volley and only hit the reset button after there was not a call on not up. That was not up.
No.
That ball bounced twice.
Did.
But I think the shadow might have fooled Maria Cicak as well, but he could have challenged that with VAR if he needed to. Didn't have to.
Yeah, we have the video review system across all match courts this year at the US Open. It's been part of the tour as well at all the Masters 1000s. It's mandatory these days. You get it at the occasional 500 as well. They had it in Dubai this year. That's good stuff, good power on the stretch.
So our good friends at Hawkeye, Lee Wishart, operating right now, points out to me that Svajda is really directing almost all of his ground stroke traffic into the greatest two-handed backhand of all time. And that's the perfect play if you want to play long points, because while Djokovic doesn't miss often with his backhand, and he changes direction a lot with his backhand, his forehand is the finishing shot. That's the one that he hits the winners on more often than not. So if you want to test him physically, you want to play long points, you keep driving traffic straight through his backhand, you're probably going to have a better chance of it.
Chance to get to the sit down with a 5-4 lead. Well done, another successful first serve point for the American. He is indeed up 5-4 first set. Everybody inside Arthur Ashe Stadium starting to pay attention here.
Love it.
First serve percentage still way down, 46% for the match. That's a first double fault. Gives Svajda something to build on here.
Novak, for his career, makes 65% of his serves, so he's 20 points lower than normal, just about. Hasn't found that rhythm yet, and this is a real opportunity for Svajda. Second serve, love 15.
It's a very conservative second serve as well, 80 miles an hour. Center of the box. And a shaky backhand by Novak standards.
And these are the moments historically when he's backed himself into a corner, in this case with the unforced errors, that Djokovic really comes out swinging. If you're Svajda, you must be ready for some hyper aggressive tennis coming from the Serb. A serve and volley like that. This is on brand for Novak. He might go huge on this second serve. You just have to be aware of that. He does have his patterns, and this is one of them. We'll see if he goes away from it, but most of the time he plays these points with aggression.
(15-30).
Almost always a big serve up the middle on a second serve. Here comes at these moments. We'll see if he's feeling that today. Right at the body, Lee.
Wow.
It was a bomb, 120.
30.
Self-defense from the American.
That was first serve speeds, and his first serve's been awful today for him. That was pretty clutch from Novak. Look at that. That almost pounded him right in the head.
Steered the lob wides.
40-30.
opportunity to rip the backhand pass there. Surely you've got to try and make Novak play a volley in that situation. 4-5, 30 all.
Djokovic.
Well, Novak survives.
5 games all.
But improvements to be made. I think it's safe to say after 45 minutes.
It's going to be a tricky service game for Svajda, because that game probably locked Novak in a little bit more. Yeah, important for some good serving here from Zach.
Ball.
That is a gift. That was only 77 miles an hour on that second serve, and Novak overplayed it. Got to keep the legs and the arm connected, he seems to be saying to his team. Those feet moving a little bit more, get it all synced up. I gotta believe the shadow is just such a problem for him. It is for everyone else. He's a guy who wears contact lenses as well, and we see him sometimes struggle with the vision at times. Has to kind of manage that aspect with eye drops, things of that nature.
Another surprising miss. More heat on the first serve that time from Svajda in the 120 territory. Got to be saying to himself, this is a wonderful opportunity to nick a set here, and it's a big set for Svajda, you feel.
Ball. Ball.
40-15.
First double for the American. Be hoping it doesn't do too much damage, coming at 40 love.
Against Svajda.
Another miss from the Serb. And so Zach Svajda does get himself into a 6-5 lead at the sit down.
6 games to 5. First set.
At 4-5.
Ball.
First serve numbers are down. Missing a few balls off the ground.
Yeah, that's an unconfident start to the game here. Not that he missed his serve, but that he was intending to serve and volley while serving into the sun with a return that would come out of the shadow.
Ball.
That would be such a difficult ball to pick up on as you're moving forward. But that, I think, speaks to the tension he's feeling overall, and that the fact that these rallies are so long compared to a normal match, because Svajda is really patient. He's hitting the ball consistently at the backhand of Djokovic and forcing Novak to do a little bit more hitting than probably he wants today. Just missed that.
Yeah, just wide. I think some of the crowd thought that was good. It wasn't far away.
Well, the volley was great from Novak, and Svajda's run onto the ball was just an example of how quick the young American is. But that could have easily been love 30. That didn't miss by much.
Ball.
well watched. Tricky overhead with the sun in your eyes down that far end at the moment. A bit more aggression that time.
15.
Watch his head here. Is he even looking at the ball at he wasn't even watching the ball at contact. That's a move that his overhead can be questionable at times, but I've got to believe that he was trying to get his eyes out of the sun there, and thankfully he caught that in the center of the strings.
Making full use of the 25 seconds. Had about
15.
a second left there. Before the service motion began. A bit quicker up to the line this time.
Game Djokovic.
And overall a better game despite starting the 12th game with a double fault.
Tiebreak. Each
got
player
himself
received one additional video review.
Into a first set tiebreak. Settle this one after 53 minutes so far.
Crowd continues to fill in here. Gates open on the sidelines. Shouldn't be open on the baseline because that's where the players are looking. And Djokovic watches another one go by him. Fifth ace already for Svajda. Not known for his powerhouse serve, but his accuracy with that serve today has been exceptional. Quite a contrast to Novak, who's still looking for rhythm and has to look right up into the sun for these couple of serves coming.
One all.
Pleased with what he's seen so far, coach.
Let's first. Svajda.
So first blood to the young American. First mini break. The Djokovic backhand goes long. 13 unforced errors today compared to 7 from Svajda.
Oh.
Two all. Three to Svajda.
Another good first serve. Feeling he's trying to preserve energy between the points, Djokovic. Approaching the hour mark now for this opening set. We've had some fairly long physical points.
3-0.
Novak switches size, tied at 3 apiece, and for the next 6 points at least, when he's serving, won't have to deal with the sun in vision or for overhead. So slight advantage to be on the side of the court that he's moving to. You see his tiebreak record. This is the all-time greatest tennis player, but also the greatest tiebreak player. And he's sub 500. He's going to drop the cap because he doesn't need it for these next 6 points. Svajda hasn't played much at tour level this year. This is just his 5th match at this level. He's 2-2, but playing exceptionally well here. This is an awesome level from Zach Svajda, and he is toe-to-toe with the champ.
Just his 2nd ace.
4-3.
It's come at a good time.
Djokovic.
It's his nose in front after 7 points played. It is incredibly tight this first set, though.
Ball.
Again, just looked off balance.
4-0.
It's going to be unacceptable for him. This is a guy who's made a career out of limiting his mistakes in moments like this, and he's already missed 2 backhands that weren't challenging, and he's hearing it from his team as they send out some information and encouragement.
Points of the match so far. Good discipline from Svajda, rally tolerance. It's got to give him a lot of confidence going through that sort of exchange.
Svajda.
And that's the right way for Svajda to be attacking not just the tiebreaker, but the match in general. Make it physical. These points in this set have been longer on average than most that you'll see in men's tennis. Svajda's quick, he's patient, he's been tactically precise attacking the backhand, and he's 2 points from the first set if he can take them.
No, it's deep. Djokovic misses. So here we go. Couple of chances now to steal this opener.
Svajda.
Svajda's won 6 points in this tiebreaker, but Djokovic has lost 4 of them with unforced errors.
Svajda.
So first set point saved. This is the moment that Zach Svajda has been waiting for, working so hard for the last 61 minutes. Set point on his own serve. He's been serving well today.
Ball.
What a backhand to wrap it up. That was brilliant. And Zach Svajda is a set-up on Djokovic.
Novak has been challenged. How is he going to respond?
Very
rare for Djokovic to be down a set at this stage at the US Open. Only the third time in 18 appearances. Second round matches that he's lost the opening set.
30 love. Yellow.
Promising start to this second set from the four-time champion. That it's just the third time in 18 appearances that Djokovic has lost the opening set of a second round match. Those are two players to take the opening set off. In 2007, Radek Stepanek, and 2020 it was Kyle Edmund in the edition that was played behind closed doors.
Both retired.
Yeah, Kyle just recently. That's a sad day for
first game,
the Englishman.
Second set.
Felt a kinship.
Love 50.
He's got to keep his foot on the gas here, Svajda. Sometimes we see a dip after such a tight set.
And we'll see if we get a reversion to the mean from Novak, as he didn't serve as well, certainly didn't play as sharply as he would want. And perhaps some of that is what we talked about at the top of this match. Playing at 11:30 on the start, uncommon for Novak to play early in the day on ash period, and the shadow is difficult. It could be off-putting to not play in a court that's normal, effectively, where you can see the ball without having to deal with it coming in and out of the sunlight into the shade. And there's been some uncertainty in Novak's game. His serve numbers, they're down. He's not hitting his serve as hard as he normally would, first or second serve. He's not hitting his forehand as hard as he normally would. There's caution, and perhaps that's because it's harder for him to locate the ball, and maybe now as the sun starts to recede, he'll start to unload a bit. That's what I'm expecting to see, Lee.
You've answered my next question to a degree, but I was going to ask you how concerned you are at this stage for Djokovic. You've watched thousands of tennis matches over the last few years. Are we on upset alert, or is it too early for that?
I would say normally it would be too early, but I think given the complexity of his summer, because he was injured at Wimbledon, took that nasty slip and fall against Billie, I believe, right? Quarters, match point or so. And he wasn't able to probably train for a little bit as he recovered from that injury, and then didn't play any tournaments. We don't know where his fitness level is as far as endurance goes, and it will be tested today. Even if he wins this quickly from here, 3 sets, it's still going to be 3 hours from in total if he wins the next 3 sets in 2 hours, which would be quick work and difficult to do. That's the piece that would concern me, if I'm on his team, and they know obviously where he is. We don't.
30-15.
But you count him out at your peril.
Absolutely.
And he has a heart of an absolute lion and more experience than anybody in dealing with situations like this.
There's a chance in the forehand pass.
40-15.
Response has been good so far. Controlling his emotions and just making sure ticks off these opening 2 service games with a little more ease.
False.
Lights. Second set.
It's clean hitting.
New balls, please.
Better signs for Djokovic. Up 2-1
Djokovic
second
leads
set.
2 games to 1. Second set. First set. Svajda. Time.
Opening match of the day inside Arthur Ashe Stadium, when the day when the second round matches get underway, so everybody involved looking for a spot in the round of 32 today. A couple of days of second round matches after 3 days of first round tennis. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're enjoying watching the draws start to take shape, trying to figure out who's going to go deep, where gaps might start to open up in the draws.
Love 15.
Perfect lob to start game 4.
False.
Baseball cap back on for Djokovic to shield the sun on a stunning day in New York. Are you slightly relieved as a player, Jim, when you check the weather app at the US Open and the temperatures are sort of high 70s, early 80s?
I think most of the tour would have exhaled mightily coming off the heels of a very hot North American summer run. Washington, D.C. is always warm. Canada is a little bit of a relief. But Cincinnati was oppressive. Normally in Cincinnati, it's traditionally been a 7-day or an 8-day tournament. This year it went to 12 days. Normally you get some hot days, but you get a couple like this, and there was none of that this year. It was unbelievably hot and humid, and they were dropping like flies. So to play especially best of 5, if you're a man, in these conditions is a massive relief. it becomes less about survival and more about actually the tennis, because sometimes it just is simply a question of who can stay out here longer. It's not about who can handle these conditions. It's about who can handle the moment. And so far, step right up, Zach Svajda. Never been in the top 100 in the world. Close, but not there. He's not in the winner's circle yet today, but he's having himself a day on Arthur Ashe Stadium at this point.
Sure is. Another service game ticked off. Still no breaks in this one. Both players have had a couple of chances to break. Svajda playing a good tie break, particularly that second set point. That is separating these two thus far. USOpen.org is your online home for point-by-point live scoring, highlights, real-time stats, the draws, and of course the schedules day by day. Doubles draws starting to come out as well. The women's doubles draw was made yesterday. Gets underway tomorrow. It's the official tournament website, USOpen.org. Tons of match previews and match reports on there as well. Good place to head.
Zach Svajda is not a big man for tour standard. He is listed at 5'9" and 155 pounds. They'll have to update that 155 because since he started working with Rodney Marshall, the Rocket, who did a lot of work with players like Madison Keys over the years, currently working with Alex Mickelson and Lerner Tien as well. They've been working hard on this young man's fitness and explosiveness. Not able to explode into the corner enough to get that one, but they've done some real improvements in the weight room, adding some more muscle, and they've been working on the court as well, trying to help him use his weight a little bit better behind the ball, load up, especially on the forehand side, which has not been his strength compared to his backhand traditionally. And a byproduct of that is probably why he's having such a successful service day. The guy's got great hops. He's got a huge vertical. We've remarked how well he served Lee. He's got more aces than Djokovic, who is not 5'9". He's 6'2". But our friends at Hawkeye tell us because of Zach's vertical and how he uses it, they're making contact on the first serve at the exact same height. Svajda basically shows his 6'2" as a server because Djokovic has normal hops on his serve. Svajda plays bigger.
Tidies up nicely. It's come through game 5. It's here in New York. Fascinating stage of this match. Zach Svajda is giving an awfully good account of himself. He has had a taste of the US Open as a youngster. He won the under-18 national championships in the US, and the reward, one of the rewards for winning that tournament, is a wild card into the US Open. So we saw him very early stages of his career.
15.
Actually a painful first experience for Zach because he was up 2-0 and then was hit by the full body cramps. It was against Paolo Lorenzi, former player from Italy. into an awkward position.
Yeah, that was well done by Novak. And he's putting some pressure on Svajda, who really does present, not just because the clothing is similar, but he presents very similarly, stylistically, to Alex de Minaur of Australia, who's a little bit taller, maybe a little bit quicker, but also very persistent on the baseline. Not an oversized player.
Here he comes. Signs that Djokovic is just starting to click through the gears today. Are we about to see our first break of serve?
Svajda having to really adjust his ball toss for the sun. That was far over his left shoulder compared to usual.
Patient play from Djokovic, and he is indeed rewarded with his first break of the match.
4 games to 2, second set.
Help him breathe a little easier midway through this second set.
He's breathing heavy after that point is Novak Djokovic, but he will, I'm sure, have a sigh of relief that he's finally up that break of serve.
Behind the players, take your seats quickly, please.
He's lifted.
Thank you. Behind the players.
14 unforced errors in the opening set for Novak, just 3 through 6 games in this set. Tightening the screws.
False.
Love 50.
Give you an idea of how efficient he's been against players with this sort of ranking at the majors over the years. He's 67-1 against opponents ranked outside the top 100 at the Grand Slams.
False.
So who's the one that got it? Dennis Istomin is the man who's maybe still dining out on that picture.
Australian Open?
Yeah. 2017.
There's a Patriot right there. Coming down the stairs. Svajda putting Novak under pressure in this service game, looking for a break back. Good one time on the forehand. That really does look an awful lot to me like de Minaur's forehand.
30.
Estimating when he beat Djokovic in Melbourne, incidentally, was 117 in the world. So should Svajda achieve the impossible today, he would be the lowest ranked player to beat the Serb at any of the majors, given he's 145 in the world this week.
Oh. 40-13.
Like he thought he'd lost the game now. He's heading for the sit down.
Djokovic.
Bit of breathing space now in this second for the four-time champ. Heads to his chair with a 5-2 lead.
Leads 5-2, second set, first set, Svajda.
Hold now to keep this second set going, 2-5. Djokovic has got the cap back on, but the sun's disappeared briefly, which makes life a bit easier.
Svajda went back to basics there, trying to just hit everything into the backhand corner of Novak, which was a successful strategy for lengthening the rallies in the opening set. Ultimately would help him earn it, as Djokovic missed a lot of backhands, including in the tiebreaker. He's done more of that in this set, though. Svajda's hitting more balls into the forehand corner, probably because Novak's not missing. Gladys Knight is back enjoying the day session here. The famous singer loves her tennis. Not a lot of options really for Svajda to change too much in his game. He's playing at a very high level. Sustainability should be his goal, and see if he can get Novak a little bit back off kilter just by continuing to ask the questions. Yeah, that's too good. And this is double set point for Novak, and he's earned it. He's lifted his game dramatically.
15-14.
And he should know all along that this is a match that he controls. Svajda cannot actually beat Djokovic unless Djokovic beats himself. And that's not happening in set two. Svajda doesn't have the firepower. He's doing everything he can and playing brilliantly. And he's about to be a set apiece.
First one saved.
30-14.
Second chance for Djokovic. Level the scores on Ash. Svajda just hanging around for at least a little bit longer.
He could do damage from inside the baseline like there, but if you look at his average forehand speed in the opening set where he was ultimately successful, it was 70 miles an hour, slower than his backhand, in fact, and significantly slower than top 50 average on tour. But he's hanging in there nicely in this game.
It's a nice point, just coming forward a couple of times in this game.
Svajda.
More aggression. His team hoping for a hold of serve here and then see what he can do on return. And he does hold, well done. Just dug his heels in there. At least gets the opportunity to
Djokovic leads 5-3. Second set.
try to make something happen here.
Novak's not in a hurry, but it wouldn't be a bad idea for him to hustle a little bit, because the cloud cover right now will make it easier for him to locate the ball when serving. We saw Svajda the game prior on the other side really having to move his ball toss to his left just to be able to get eyes on the ball. Right now Novak should be able to put it where he's comfortable, but if the sun comes back out, there he was just testing it. This is a really troubling time on the clock. This time of the day is difficult for righties. And it looked to me like Novak opted to turn his shoulders even more than normal, almost McEnroe style, and toss the ball further to the right. You got to go left or right of the sun. You cannot go straight to it, but it's a real nuisance. So he was testing to the left and to the right there. On this court, he probably should throw it to the right because you are angled, but his shoulders, to me, I think he's turned even more than usual.
Incredible dig, because it was a very good volley. Looked like the point was done. Djokovic with other ideas. Thought he got enough angle on this, and all of a sudden he was there. Chance to go around the net post, a la Alcaraz, but didn't need to that time. Sun's back out, just disappeared briefly, so he's got the same problem again.
He's done
a good job of dealing with that so far. There's the big cloud that was just giving us a bit of relief briefly, or Novak a bit of relief. Further set points.
Not so sure he's going to want to play at 11:30 again.
Really good second serve to wrap up a much better set for Novak Djokovic. He's back on track.
Here, whether he'll take a medical timeout in 3 minutes.
So we'll keep a close eye on Zach Svajda now, given the appearance of the trainer after the conclusion of the second set. We're expecting him to return at the first sit down in this third set.
Well, if he is having some physical issues with his legs, that's not good news, because he needs them. That's one of his real strengths, is his foot speed, his ability to take the ball early. Because he lacks power on his ground strokes, he needs to take time away by taking it early. And a David Goffin style. Catch the ball early, hit the ball, change direction. That's how you can have the impression of being a bigger hitting player, because it's all about the time between and when it leaves your racket and reaches your opponent's racket. The deeper you stand, the harder you have to hit it. But that serve did not look good. Under 100 miles an hour, didn't get any push up on his left leg.
No, that's not good either.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
And the second serve speed was way higher, which that's telling us that his movement is compromised for right now.
This has come out of nowhere.
Going
first serve, 84 miles an hour.
Well, we talked about how he's like a jack-in-the-box fighter, has a huge vertical, and he's been jumping up and catching the ball at the same height that Djokovic does. And Novak is 5 inches taller than him. He's an explosive athlete, but something has gone awry in that left quad, and that seriously impacted his serve in that game. He just tapped his left leg with his racket there. We'll hope that it's a temporary issue, but he hasn't played any extended matches. He's won everything in straight sets, right? On the way here, including his 3 matches in the qualies, which were 2 out of 3 set matches. This is odd. And it's certainly going to be encouraging for the number 7 seed.
Yeah, he'll be processing the events in the last 5 minutes, and it looks like it's got inside his head as well. I guess that's one of the challenges, isn't it? You might be hurting physically, but you've got to somehow try and put that to one side and still focus on putting the ball in the right place, but his level has dropped significantly.
Now this is going to be an extremely interesting changeover. And see if he takes a medical timeout, what the treatment is, and ultimately if he can recover his form, because right now his fitness looks gone. Standing in close here, rubbing his leg, probably going to hit a slap shot return. He's going to have to, if he can't move, he's going to have to do that, right? It's going to be slash and burn time for Svajda. He's going to start going really huge with every shot he can. Hour and 43 minutes on the clock. This should not be a question of fitness. He's worked hard on that. This looks like an injury issue.
40-15. Djokovic.
I hope I'm wrong, Lee. I hope it's not an injury. I hope maybe he's just feeling nervous tension and it might be cramps just because of the moment. I hope that's the case. That would be a much better situation. That would be manageable if he can calm himself down. And sometimes that does happen to players who play in uncomfortable environments, and this would be one for him, unfamiliar for sure, against Novak. A moment like this at the US Open.
15 love.
I mean, I'm sure you've heard the stories. I've lived them of players in Davis Cup. Highly stressful moments representing their fellow teammates in their nation will cramp up in the opening set. Sometimes they're so anxious. We'll hope that's what this is. We don't know.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. We'll find out in a few moments' time if we can listen in to the exchange between Zach and the trainer. Doing okay, smoking winners so far. 5 in this set already.
Game Svajda.
Certainly playing with more aggression. So
New
we
balls, please.
Wait to see how this sit down
games to
unfolds.
1. Third set 1-0.
Djokovic resumes 1-2. Set a piece now. A little bit exasperated because he'll become aware of the issues down the other end of the court, but so far it's not affecting the scoreline.
So on the changeover, if you weren't with us, the physio came out, massaged both legs, quadriceps of Zach Svajda. There was not a 3-minute medical timeout taken, which we're interpreting, I think correctly, that this is fitness related, not injury related.
30-15.
And it happens, as we were talking about before the break, that sometimes this is psychosomatic, that you are so stressed out and nervous and anxious that you actually induce some minor cramping in your body, but you can alleviate it if you can relax. I've lived it. I've had it. Cramped up indoors one time in a 2-set match. You can learn how to manage these moments, and you mentioned that Svajda had some cramps that really cost him early in his career here when he had a lead in the match, right?
Yeah, up 2-0. Very first appearance here as a youngster, a junior. Against Paolo Lorenzi, eventually lost that in 5 sets, so maybe that was a learning experience.
Yeah, there are certainly things you can do to help it. Also, pickle juice is a help.
Wow.
30, 40.
How about this?
It's strange, isn't it? Because in a way, it's forced him to play in a slightly different manner.
Well, that's a very British expression of you. It's slightly different. It's a wholly different manner. He's gone from a grinder to a slasher.
And he's got to break points.
Ball.
And this will be frustrating Djokovic, no doubt.
Ball.
Game, Svajda.
Well, goodness me. It has been an eventful
Svajda leads 3 games to love.
opening to this 3rd set.
Third
It is
set.
Svajda who's back in charge. He's got the break 3-1 despite the physical problems. Just very quickly, we'll remind you to stay connected to the US Open through social media: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and WhatsApp. Join the conversation with #US Open.
50 love.
Well, this is a turn of events we weren't expecting.
Ball.
Novak, angry, slashes that ball into the wall.
Ball.
And it's
15.
understandable. Novak handed that game away with an unnecessary double fault. Didn't need to go big, but did. But Novak was the beneficiary of a situation like a little different than this, but somewhat similar. Earlier this year in Australia, Novak got injured when he was playing Carlos Alcaraz in the quarterfinals. And Alcaraz misplayed the situation, spent too much time looking across the net and didn't handle it right. And ultimately Novak would win that match. Shouldn't have. And of course, he played 1 set against Zverev in the semifinals and then had to default because he was injured. I think he had a 3 or 4 millimeter tear in a leg muscle. Well, this is where his patience should be rewarded. If he can just play some lockdown defense like he did in that point.
30,
Svajda doesn't
14.
make his living ripping the ball off both sides, Lee. This is out of character for him because it seems like he's having an out-of-body experience there. Break point for Novak to get back on serve.
Draws the arrow and straight back in business. Yeah, that's the hope that
Svajda
the
leads
aggression
3 games to 2.
Svajda's had to bring into the game
Third
means
set.
Go to your grocery store and you can pick it up.
Ball.
But certainly that the appearance of pickle juice and his interest in it tells us what we need to know. That this is 100% a cramping fitness, scenario, and not an injury. So it's more good than bad, I would say. It's not an injury. You worry more about that.
15 all.
Continues to swing freely. It's whether he can do it effectively enough for a long enough period to stay in this set. Seen the problems that it can bring in the previous game when you just start missing too much. The ratio to winners to unforced errors so far for Svajda in the third isn't actually too bad. It's 7-6. And presumably, Jim, it's a build-up. It's not just something that happens when Zach Svajda steps inside Arthur Ashe Stadium. This is a process of the tension that this sort of day brings. You know, maybe he hasn't had a great night of sleep, perhaps, thinking about this occasion. Pre-match tension, how you're dealing with that, the experience needed to manage that stress ahead of a big match on Ashe at your home major. I assume it's a build-up.
You can burn a lot of energy with the tension, the anxiety that moments of opportunity like this induce in a young, up-and-coming, inexperienced player. And look, this match means so much to him for so many reasons, and we shouldn't forget how prominent it is in his mind, and he talks openly about it, how much he wants to perform well for his family, his father who's struggling. And battling stage 4 cancer. I mean, couldn't be a more serious matter. And Zach wins the opening set and probably started to think about what this moment could be. And that might have also added a little bit more stress. Only he knows. But I don't think this is a product of him not being fit enough at all. Because I know for a fact he's been doing incredible work in that department.
(15-13).
Peculiar outcome. Still in a decent position here, Djokovic, to break again. Start to pull away. That's what you would expect
15-14
in this situation, given his experience, knowledge of how to hurt opponents. Well, that was good. Only just, but it was good.
30-14.
Seventh seed with one more chance. Get to the sit down, up 4-3. That was wild. And another break of serve for the former champion. He's ahead 4-3. So now up a break. Novak Djokovic set a piece, but I'm sure there'll be a lot less stress on Novak's side of the court, given the physical issues that Zach Svajda is battling. After an uncomfortable opening set for the four-time champion. There's a quite phenomenal record here, Novak. Reminding myself of how many finals he's made alongside those 4 titles as well. Just the 6, so 10 finals in total. And He made the final 6 of 7 years here between 2010 and 2016. Titles here 2011, 2015, 2018 and most recently 2023. He beat Medvedev. I think sometimes we've got to the stage where we just roll out these numbers that these guys accumulate without actually stopping for a moment and appreciating what someone like Djokovic has achieved. Just mind-boggling.
Djokovic leads 5 games to 3.
Dominance.
That's it.
Such a long period. 24 singles majors for the Serb. 25.
The amount of finals that he's reached in majors versus the total amount of majors he's played, that's also something quite staggering. As he marches here to what looks like a 2-1 lead, he's been just so uber consistent.
Yeah, because in this sport we just tend to focus on the titles, don't you? And you don't even notice all the finals. You know, not only here in New York at the other majors, at all the Masters events as well. Just enough time to find another forehand winner. But it is looking like it will be a 2-1 lead before too long.
Wow, there's a lot of speed coming off of the forehand. He's able to swing that one with freedomly, but the serve has nothing on it now. That first serve was 90 miles an hour. No leg drive at all.
Yeah, which is a bad matchup, isn't it? Against one of the greatest returners of all time. Can't generate any kind of speed. Legs so important. Biomechanics of the serve. Yeah, that's good. And it brings up a set point for the 7th seed. And Djokovic cruises into a 2-1 lead against an opponent who is less than 100% fit right now. With a 2-1 lead. That was quite brilliant. Right place, right time. But he still had to produce some serious hand skills here. That would have felt good.
Ball.
Tennis ball, so we'll go again.
15-0. Thirty 15.
Play the winner of the match between Cameron Norrie and Francisco Comisano, which will be getting underway on court 5 shortly. Lehechka's just come through on that court against Echeverry.
Ah. 40-15.
Game points.
Djokovic.
More of the same.
First
Djokovic
game,
fully in
fourth
control
set.
at this stage. In the same section as Runa and Tiafoe. Oh, that is some pass.
15-0.
Stays home here and lets fly. He really has wonderful technique on the backhand. It's a clean strike.
15-0.
Very compact and nice, but is able to generate some pace on that side when he's in position. It's getting harder and harder for him to be in position, however, given his legs aren't feeling great.
Out. 15-30.
Svajda's first serve speed in the opening set on average was 118 miles an hour when he was feeling good. That's going to sting. Djokovic wins the point, gets the double break point, but that last first serve was just 88 miles an hour. There's just no power left in the serve for Svajda.
First one
30-40.
slips through his fingers. One more chance. Number 7 seed, who would theory play Taylor Fritz in the quarterfinals. That's who he has in the same court of Fritz, the 4th seed, who I've just noticed is.
He's down, isn't he?
Yeah. Down a set against Lloyd Harris, former
Yes.
quarterfinalist from South Africa, who's been through the wars recently, wrist surgery and back surgery. Another qualifier.
Had to use a protected ranking, I think, just to get into the qualies. His ranking outside of the top 400 coming in here.
Advantage, Svajda.
Casper Ruud down a set as well, the number 12 seed, Collignon from Belgium.
Yep. Pardon me. 353 the ranking for Lloyd Harris. Apologies, Lloyd. Climbing up on the back of winning a round and qualifying here, potentially taking out Fritz.
He just sat down in the third against Dan Evans in the first round of qualies, so be some turnaround if he can get a win over last year's finalist. His second game continues, back to deuce.
Advantage, Djokovic.
just about able to hang in this game with enough of these kind of ground strokes. It's a tall order to keep reducing that sort of shot making against Djokovic. It's the danger, and particularly when you can't get any cheap points on serve at this stage. The leg problems he's having. Fourth opportunity.
Game, Djokovic.
Another miss. And you would imagine that should be enough.
Yep.
Djokovic leads 2-love, fourth set.
Should just be a formality now for the number 7 seed to see out the remainder of this fourth set. Head off and prepare for either Norrie or Comisano. By the way, we've just had some bad news for British fans because Jack Draper's pulled out of the tournament in the last few moments. Posted on social media. Sorry to say I'll be withdrawing from the US Open. Tried my best to be here, give myself every chance to play, but the discomfort in my arm has become too much.
Oh man.
Which is worrying, isn't it? He's missed
really worrying
a whole summer since Wimbledon.
It's a bone bruise he had, right? Just don't want it to turn into something worse. So caution is certainly the order of the day when you have a serious injury issue like that. He's got to be thinking long ball, long term. But that's as Novak just marches on here to what looks inevitable. It's been very difficult for Jack Draper to stay healthy in his young career so far. How good he's been when he's been healthy. Well, good enough to win Indian Wells, beating Alcaraz along the way, and Holger Rune in the final. He's been fabulous this year when healthy. Just hasn't been out there enough.
Starting to cruise
balls, please.
through this fourth set. 3 games around from the third round.
Djokovic leads 3-love, fourth set. And by 2 sets, 2-1.
Zizou Bergs is the man who benefits from Jack Draper's withdrawal. Belgian player into the third round in the top half. Played with a Diallo or Munar. Draper was in the same quarter as Sinner, so in theory it makes Jannik's passage a little more straightforward. Although he doesn't need an awful lot of help, Jannik Sinner, these days, does he?
No.
Moving through Grand Slam.
Does not. He is consistent. Although his next match against Alexei Popyrin could be more challenging than you think. Popyrin does have a win over him before Sinner was Sinner. And Popyrin is dangerous. He's tall, he is powerful. He is up and down with his level, but when it's up, it is very high level. So I'm looking forward to that one. Time will tell. Sasha Bublik also in that section. Bublik got one of the few wins over Sinner this year, beat him in Halle on the grass. He's got some work ahead of him with School Kate and potentially Tommy Paul, but first things first, we're back on Arthur Ashe Stadium, and young Zach Svajda dealing with some cramps in his legs, just hanging in like a loose tooth right now.
50-love. Love. 40.
Better news for another couple of players from California out on court at the moment. Marcus Giron is up a set on Bonzi, and good friend of Svajda's, Brandon Nakashima, in good shape as well.
It's 40-50.
Nakashima looking like he's about to force a decider against Jerome Kim from Switzerland, another of the guys who came through qualifying.
Oh. 40-13. Game, Svajda.
So on the board,
Djokovic leads 3-1, full set.
number 4 before we get our teeth into the 5th game. Just a quick reminder that you can visit usopenshop.org. That's the official shop for 2025 US Open merchandise. Get your game face on and your game day fit on too, with your US Open gear. All the merch available for the whole family. usopenshop.org is the place to head for.
You probably would have, people listening would have no way of knowing that you're fully kitted out in US Open swag, like head to top to tail. You went for a nice shop, didn't you, Lee?
Take it seriously. It's tough to get anywhere near the shop inside.
It's busy.
There are some serious queues to get in the merchandise store here on site.
My wife and children hit it on Sunday, and they hit it hard. I have to work a little extra this year to compensate it.
40.
Not a lot of work ahead here for Novak today. He's come in, he's had to battle, but it looks like the battle is almost won. First set took some time, wasn't it? An hour and 1 minute. Now 2 hours and 22 minutes, and Novak needs just 2 more games to get into the 3rd round.
4-1, 4th set, and by 2.
The thing that struck me about staying in Manhattan is the flavour of tennis around the city. You know, you walk around another corner, there's a huge electronic digital billboard featuring Djokovic in Times Square. There's you go around the corner, there's Aryna Sabalenka, there's Francis Tiafoe on the subway. Tennis players everywhere.
We see that in the major cities. You go to Melbourne, you'll certainly see that around town. Certainly if you're in Paris or in London, same thing. It just for a couple of weeks, and now it's 3 weeks, not 2 weeks. You really do feel that it's happening.
Yeah. 30-50.
Zach Svajda just trying to get the most out of this experience. Hanging around in this 4th set as long as he possibly can.
It's been a wonderful tournament for Svajda. He came through the qualifying and won a round, and that's going to do not just his pocketbook a world of good and his confidence a world of good, but his ranking as well. He started the season ranked 166. With this result, he'll push up to 126, so ever closer to double digits. And he'll come away with the confidence then when he was feeling his best in this match, he was able to match his game against the best and come away with a set. And that is not a small thing for a young player to take with him. That's something he can hang his hat on and go to work with.
Ball.
Take the lessons learned too about maybe how to manage his body through stress going forward.
It's a nice finish.
Yes.
And depending on your financial situation, journey into the second round at the US Open rewards you with $154,000 as well. Prize money has taken a big hike this year. It's a trend we've seen in recent years, that the players who are losing earlier in the tournament the paychecks are bigger. So if you're playing all the four majors, then that's a good base level, which will pay a few bills. There are plenty of those as a tennis professional. $110,000 first round loser this year.
Djokovic. Djokovic leads 5-1.
So for Svajda, lots of good things happening here. And he'll certainly look for his future to continue to be bright. I'm sure he'll be targeting trying to get inside the top 100 by the end of the year, which would give him direct entry into the Australian Open, with the 6-week cutoff happening sometime in December. For Novak, his focus much more immediate. Unclear whether he's going to play any other tournaments the rest of this season. He hasn't committed to any that we know of. The future is now for Novak. The drive for 25, as your brother Jason, who I work with a lot at Tennis Channel, likes to say, I love that expression, for his 25th major, still very much looks on here in New York.
He's obviously trademarked that, so I better not repeat it.
Yeah, well, you just have to say his name every time. See, that way it's like a little licensing fee.
Very nice. Yeah, that's what it's all about for Novak here in New York in the next few days.
This time last year, Novak came in having completed the full set of tennis achievements, having won the gold medal finally, dramatically, as he stretches his right leg out. And he really was not himself at this tournament. He was still kind of in celebration mode. He and Alcaraz, both for different reasons, really vacant and spent by the time they got here, even though they were present. Lost early. And Novak was sniffing around looking for some coaching assistance at that point, and Andy Murray was who he eventually landed on to give him a little inspiration. They lasted about 5 months or so before they decided that was enough. Novak went back to some familiar faces on his team to assist him. I don't think he needs anything else now other than good health. He's shown this year glimpses of his greatness. Miami, en route to the final, he was awesome. And he's been more than good enough today. Triple, well, double match point, he said.
To wait a little bit longer before
30.
you can head to the net for the handshake. One more chance to wrap this up. Just over 2.5 hours on court, 2 hours 31. Should be good news for Novak, given the first set was 61 minutes.
Djokovic.
Novak
Three sets to
Djokovic
one,
3 and 4
6-7,
today.
6-3, 6-1.
Tough first sets for the four-time champion. Once Svajda started struggling physically, it was never really in doubt. And we will be seeing more of this man later this week into round 3.